Prince was a small-time content creator with about 2,000 subscribers. Every day, his routine was exactly the same: boot up Minecraft, load in some generic horror seeds, and test out the latest creepy mods to see if anything stuck. This graph tracks the typical audience fear response. You see a sharp initial spike when a player first encounters a jump scare, but repeated exposure causes that response to level out into a long plateau. This left Prince in a constant search for something genuinely unsettling, a rare experience that could break through the sea of predictable content his viewers had already seen 100 times before. Prince was looking for an experience that bypassed the standard toolkit of horror games. He needed something that didn't rely on scripts, but on an entirely new and unpredictable psychological baseline. Intrigued, that's when an email arrived with no body text and a single 4-word subject line: "Play this world alone." Attached was a zip file named Last World V9. Prince logically assumed this was a standard ARG or a horror map submitted by a fan, the kind of content his channel was built on. He followed his usual preparation. He opened his OBS recording software, treating the mystery file as another piece of content to be consumed and shared with his audience. By hitting record and treating the file as a standard game, Prince unknowingly surrendered his control. He was stepping into an environment designed entirely by an unknown observer. The world Prince loaded into was an outdated, low-resolution version of the game. It was vast, flat, and completely devoid of the life or structures found in modern versions. This emptiness triggers a psychological state called liminality, the specific unease humans feel when they are in transitional, abnormally deserted spaces. A standard game environment is filled with active data points, but Last World V9 is a rigid, barren matrix. This absence of life defies digital expectations. Without predictable signals, the brain enters high alert, scanning the void for hidden threats. In this specific world, dread is generated through subtraction. By systematically removing every indicator of normalcy, the environment leaves the player in a state of total, paranoid isolation. The most oppressive feature is the fog. It's a thick, unnatural gray mass that rolls over the terrain and completely swallows the horizon. While early games used fog as a technical tool to save computer memory, here it is used to weaponize the unknown. This restricted visibility keeps the player in a state of active paranoia, as the mind inevitably projects its own fears into the obscured distance. The fog transforms the digital space into a psychological mirror, where the player's own imagination performs the heavy lifting of the horror. Near the end of the recording, Prince turned his avatar back toward the original spawn point, expecting to see the same empty terrain he started with. Instead, he found a message. Jutting out of the ground were crude dirt blocks arranged to spell a single, personalized sentence: "You came back." Prince was paralyzed by the realization that he had never downloaded or played this specific world file before. This message represents the peak of digital horror because it shatters the barrier of the screen. The threat is no longer a contained story. It is a direct, real-world accusation. This is a total disruption of digital safety. The isolated, single-player sanctuary of a private file has been compromised by an outside intelligence. The traditional dynamic of the creator and their audience has reversed. Prince, who believed he was the one safely observing the game, was actually the one being observed. The event leaves behind a terrifying implication. An anonymous digital void somehow possessed intimate knowledge of Prince's history and identity. Prince's experience reveals the ultimate architecture of digital dread, the horrifying proof that in the vastness of the internet, you are never truly alone.